Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Shadow. Say hi, guys.
Peekaboo, everyone.
Hey everyone.
So, we are here on a very spooky update preview stream. That is because the Rust Halloween stuff is going live in a patch that is expected to hit in 1 hour. So, what we're going to do, as always, is go through everything you can expect to come in this patch. Also, as always, you can see all this information on rustafied.com on our post today. The other thing we got going on, which is a new endeavor, I'll just say hi to everyone on YouTube who's watching the VOD of this a day or two later. We are starting to put the VODs of this onto YouTube on our YouTube channel, and we're going to be producing some other content shortly on our YouTube channel as well. So for everyone tuning in on YouTube a day or two later, hey. And to everyone tuning in live, hey, to you too, because I'm not just going to say hi to all the YouTube people and discount everyone tuning in live right now. So what do we got going on with this update coming out? Well, it is the Halloween event. And if you've been around Rust for a year or two, you have experienced a lot of this before because the event does have a lot of stuff that we have seen in previous Halloween events. And on top of it, we got some new items and even portals. And we'll go through what that is. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to do at shadow_rustified in chat. We will get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. Also, quick note on server wipes today. This is with Rustafied servers. They are wiping at the regular scheduled time, which is 5 p.m. local time for the region. So that means AU and SEA wiped like 9-10 hours ago. EU wiped 1 hour ago. And BR wipes in, what is that, 3 hours? Yeah. And then at 5 p.m. EST, that's when the US servers will wipe. These are the weekly and bi weekly Thursday wipe servers wiping today. Now, it's an interesting one because we do have this patch coming out, right? And the patch is coming out in an hour, which is like in between when we're wiping. And a lot of people are probably wondering, does this patch force a wipe on the servers? And although it is a mandatory client and server patch to get this Halloween stuff live, it does not force a wipe on the servers. So at Rustified, what we're going to do is just when the update comes out in the next hour, we're just going to roll a restart on all of our servers. It won't cause a wipe, but we will unfortunately have some interruption. Especially, I know this isn't ideal for the EU people because it just wiped an hour ago and it's going to kind of interrupt wipe to get the update out. But that's just the nature of the beast on days like today. And I do appreciate y'all understanding that. So, what do we have coming in this Halloween event? Well, the new thing is, and I'm just going to touch on that first because it's the newest, most exciting thing. We've got portals. Now, this was just added to staging yesterday. We saw some commits in previous weeks around portals, but we only got our first glimpse of this about, I don't know, maybe 18 hours ago, if that. And so some of this is still up in the air, unknown, because it really just hit staging less than 24 hours ago. But I'll go through what we've seen about portals and what we know. And feel free to ask questions, and we will get and test as many things as we have the opportunity to. But here's the deal. Portals are now spawning randomly around the map. They don't last forever. We haven't nailed down exactly how long it takes them to despawn, but they will, as the language in the game is using, they will collapse the portals at a certain point. But while they're open, you can walk through this portal. And when you do, you're teleported to a small dungeon. I throw up air quotes. You, of course, can't see my air quotes, but I throw up air quotes because the dungeons are kind of like a small cave system, basically. It uses the artwork from the cave system, but it is this kind of standalone small cave system. And within that small cave system, that dungeon that you go into, you will find NPC scarecrows and some loot. And so you can, of course, get the loot from the NPC scarecrows, and you can find loot boxes around. We find normal crates, military crates. Well, that's basically it. Normal crates and military crates is what we're finding down there. And between 2 and 5 NPC scarecrows. Now, these underground or these dungeons are not very large, so there's not a whole ton of exploring to do. There are a number of different variants on these dungeons, though. So when we were testing yesterday, we found about 16 variants on the map. And by variant, I, of course, just mean a slightly different version of each dungeon. And each dungeon has different things in it, the same type of things, but different quantities. And yeah, I'm not sure if these are procedurally generated dungeons or if there's just like 15 different variants they whipped up that are like hard coded, so to speak. But regardless, you can go through the portal, you get in the dungeon, you kill the NPC scarecrows, you grab the loot, you get out. You get out by going through the same way you got in. You just go back through the portal. In fact, if you go through a portal and you're like, oh shit, I didn't want to be in this dungeon, just turn around. You can go right back out. No big deal. But also, anyone, while the portal is open, anyone can go through the portal. So you might be in a dungeon and you want to watch your back too, because someone could be coming through that portal right after you as well. And yeah, and that's it. Basically, we were seeing a certain amount of portals. It's like a limited amount of portals on a map at any given time. Did we nail down that number yet?
No, I'm not sure entirely at the minute. Full number. It's really hard to measure, unfortunately.
Yeah. So once again, some of this stuff is still a little hazy, so to speak, and maybe the dev blog will have some more specifics about how this works, but that's basically what we're seeing. You know, these portals spawn around. They do block building around where they spawn on the map. And so you can't like build around a portal, but keep in mind they are temporary. They maybe last 15, 20 minutes is my guess. Once again, sometimes with these things, they have a variable rate of decay or collapse. So one might collapse in 9 minutes, the other might be 16, something like that. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. You go through the portal, there's loot and NPC scarecrows in there, and you get that loot, you go through, get everything, and then go back out through the portal from which you came. And those are the portals for the Halloween event. Now, the other thing about this Halloween stuff that I want to say real quick, because I realized I didn't mention it, this goes live on the servers today and will be live in the game until November 3rd, the next forced wipe. So we got 2 weeks of this stuff. Once again, the act of this stuff going live in the game doesn't force a map wipe. So if you're playing on a monthly server or a server that already wiped today, they shouldn't have to wipe again. This stuff just gets added into the normal gameplay. Now, the other thing we have Halloween related going on is Frankenstein Pets. Now, this was something that first came last year and is making its comeback. And so the long and short with the Frankenstein Pets are you can create basically these pets. You find these Frankenstein pet parts in the loot of Scarecrow NPCs around the map, and then you basically want to, pardon as I collect my thoughts, you want to craft a Frankenstein table, which is a default blueprint, level 1 workbench required, 200 metal frags in 15 seconds. You craft this Frankenstein table, and then you can put the parts in there and then hold E on the table and select Wake Frankenstein, and then your pet will wake up. Now, there's 3 different types of Frankenstein parts. There's light, medium, and heavy, and they each have their own attributes. So like light Frankenstein moves faster but has less health, and then the inverse, of course, the heavy one moves slower but has more health. And the parts are all interchangeable, so you can have like light legs, a medium torso, and a heavy head if you want, or those are the parts that you get. And then the Frankenstein basically just is awake, and I should say the Frankenstein pet, you know, there's that distinction. It wasn't, the monster wasn't Frankenstein. That's the dude who was like, it's alive. The Frankenstein it's just a pet. But anyway, to control this pet, you go up to it, you hold P for pet, right? And then a radio menu comes up, and you can do different things like tell it to idle, you can tell it to guard you, you can tell it to move where you're looking, you can have it follow you around, you can have it assist you, and it'll attack anything that you attack. You can destroy it and just kill the pet instantaneously. And you can also set it to combat, which the pet will attack anything you attack. It will attack anything that attacks you, and it will defend itself if attacked. So that's like combat mode as well. Now, the interesting thing about these Frankenstein pets, I think, is this, I believe, is kind of a peek into this whole pets system that they're working on for just normal gameplay, which of course is something they've had in the works for months now. We've seen in the commits there's a number of dogs that will have a training collar, and then you'll be able to tame these dogs and then kind of order them around. And it seems like this functionality has a lot of overlap with that pets functionality that will be coming into the game. So potentially this is kind of a sneak peek, so to speak, of what we're going to see for pets. But instead of Frankenstein pets and these kind of gory looking weird dudes, we'll probably just have some dogs and maybe some other things.
Frank's a little camera shy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But couple other things of note about these pets, and then we'll move on. You can only have one pet at a time. The pet will only travel a maximum of about 100 meters. Once again, the Frankenstein parts to build these pets are found on Mummies and Scarecrows around the map. So those are the new NPCs, the Halloween-related NPCs you find around the map. And the Frankenstein table, although it looks like it's got a lot of electricity going on and stuff, it doesn't require power. And you can also see your pet's health on the bottom right when you have one. And you can also see the pet where it is on the map if you look. So those are just some other things about the pets to note. Now, also moving on, we got a couple new Halloween related items that are going to be likely on the item store. This is something we very often see for the Halloween events and other holiday events for Rust. We'll see various items on the item store, and they're basically clones of items that already exist in the game. They share the same stats and crafting costs and everything like that. They just look a little different. So first on the list, we've got a hockey mask, and this is a reskin of the metal face mask. And this will probably be available for purchase on the item store. It's always a little hard to tell because they update the item store around when they release the patch. And it can be hard to tell if an item, like we can spawn it in game, but that doesn't tell us exactly how it's going to be propagated throughout the game. So based on previous experience, we're assuming that these things will be on the item store, but we won't really know the full specifics of it until this update hits in about 48 minutes, give or take. Anyway, we do have a hockey mask. It's a hockey mask with some blood splatter on it. Looks nice and kind of Halloween-y. So we got that. There's also the Cultist Deer Torch. Now, this is a reskin of the torch, of course, and it still lights up like a torch. It has the normal torch properties and everything like that. It just looks like a cultist deer head torch. It's got like kind of a deer skull thing on it. Cool. Probably also available on the item store. And then also, we've got a baseball bat. And this is a baseball bat, not just any baseball bat. It's got some spikes like around it, wrapped around it for some extra damage. And now this is an interesting one because it is a clone of the mace. And with this addition of this item, they actually have buffed the mace damage from what we can see. So now it can one-hit blue barrels like some other two-handed weapons, where previously it couldn't. So the mace with this, and this is not just the baseball bat, but also the mace have had their damage stats slightly buffed with this. So it's going to be a more effective weapon. But don't worry that just the bat was buffed, but the mace in game wasn't. Both of them were, so they're still like exactly equal in statistics. It's just the baseball bat looks like a bat and the mace looks like a mace. Now, also, probably also available for purchase on the item store, we've got carvable pumpkins. These are making a comeback from last year as well. And it's pretty straightforward on how these carvable pumpkins work. They're basically just you paint on them like a sign, and then you put some wood in them, and then you can light them up. And they're little jack-o'-lanterns you can design yourself. So that's cool. Also, probably, once again, available on the item store here shortly. Now, in other stuff going on around the map for this Halloween event, we have spooky Scarecrows and Mummies. Now, are we seeing, previous years we've seen both of them. Are we still seeing both of them around the map?
Yes, I have done so far, yep.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. But yeah, these are kind of like the blue scientist NPCs, but just in addition to that, they'll run after you. They'll try to kill you if they see you. And there's a couple differences though. They have more HP. They have 200 HP, so they're going to be a bit harder to kill. There's around 40 on a default map size, from what we've seen. They'll use a variety of weapons, including chainsaw, sickle, bean can grenades, and machetes. So if you notice someone tossing bean cans your way randomly as you're running around, well, it's probably one of these spooky scarecrows or mummies. And then they drop a good amount of loot. They'll drop metal blades, pitchfork, corn, sickle, rope, a SAR body, F1 grenades, guitars, or fuses. So they'll drop a variety of different loot. And yeah, it's just some extra NPCs that you're going to find around the map during this Halloween event. Now, also, we've got a trick or treat in game event that's happening with this Halloween event. And this has happened, I think they've had this in the game for a couple years now for the Halloween events. And it's similar to the egg hunt that you see with the Easter event, where about every other in game day, you'll see a countdown notice appear that says trick or treat starts in 14 seconds. It's like a 15-second countdown. And once it starts, Halloween candy will spawn around each player. And you can race to pick up as much candy as you can within 3 minutes. And it is a leaderboard type thing where the top candy getters in the server will get a prize. So when you're running around grabbing this candy, you can just eat it if you want. Or you can upgrade the candy as well. So the top 3 people who get the most candy will get these candy loot bags, so to speak. And now this is similar to if you've had an Xmas event with Rust and they have the small, medium, and large present, and you can upgrade the small to medium, and then you can open them and get loot. It's that kind of same thing, but with a Halloween twist. So if you're doing the trick-or-treating and you win first place, you get 3 medium loot bags. If you win second place, you get 1 medium loot bag. And if you get third place on the trick-or-treating event, you get 1 small loot bag. And you might be wondering, what the hell are these loot bags? Well, this is where it's a great opportunity to go to rustafied.com, where we do, if you scroll down about towards the bottom of today's article, you can see the loot, the sample loot for each bag and what they upgrade to. But long and short, the small loot bag, you can stack them to 10. It gives you stuff like chocolate bars, pumpkin buckets, compound bow, hunting bow, Scarecrow Wrap. Or you can stack 10 of them together and upgrade to a medium loot bag. At the medium loot bag realm, you get 2.5k stone, a revolver and 20 ammo, or double barrel and 5 buckshot, or you can get a chainsaw or some spider webs. Or you can stack 10 of these medium loot bags and get a large loot bag. When you open a large loot bag, you can get things like an MP5 and some ammo, an M249, an LR300, an M39. You can get incendiary and HV rockets, or even a grenade launcher. So that large loot bag is where the real, good loot comes in. But it's going to take a lot to get up to a large loot bag because you need to stack at least 10 medium bags. So it's a process to get up to a large loot bag, but then when you open it, you get some good prizes. Now, there are a couple things that will help you during this trick-or-treat event, including a pumpkin bucket, which you'll find in the small loot bags, and that will have you pick up candy quicker. It's similar to the egg basket for the egg hunt. You can just get something quickly with left click. Also, you can use right click to throw candy at people, and that does about 20 damage if you so choose. Also, there's the Scarecrow Wrap, which is also found in small loot bags, and that gives you a little extra candy vision. And basically, that allows you to see the candy spawning around you a little bit farther away, which is cool. And then also, you'll notice as you go around the map, the pick-upable resources have a Halloween twist to them. So the pick-upable resources are now wood, stone, and or kind of gravestones. And there's also one with bones, some bony hands sticking out, and you pick up that and you get some bones. So those are the pick-upable resources. When you're looking and seeing gravestones all around, those you just go pick up and grab some easy to get resources. Now, also with this update, there are a couple of miscellaneous other things making their way in. One is the event volume slider has been added to the audio section of the options menu. So if you don't want to hear the loud in-game Halloween event stuff, you can turn that down. They also added a turn on and turn off input to the strobe light and fog machine. The toggle inputs are unchanged with that. It's just the turn on, turn off inputs. They fixed flashlights and laser attachments not working in turrets. Volume and voice limiting tweaks have been added to UI sounds. And they fixed some missing colliders in the modular car rear seats and a couple other things, miscellaneous stuff. You can see the full list on rustafied.com. And of course, throughout this week, they're also working on other long-term development projects. There's the normal pets that are going to make their way into the game. There's that server-to-server transfer nexus stuff and the clan system tied into that. There's some new monuments and nuke silo and various other things, projects that are being worked on in the long term. And it's not clear yet exactly what we're going to be seeing coming in November. There's also that caboose and blackjack, of course. So there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of in, I'm not going to call it concept limbo. It's just in more active development. And we're not clear exactly when it's going to go live. But what we will do is be back next Thursday, of course, as we are every Thursday. We'll have an article on Rustafied.com that gives you kind of a sneak peek of what to expect in the November 3rd update, which is the next big update and force wipe after today. Whew. Okay, so that pretty much does it. The other thing I wanted to touch on real quick, and then we'll get into some questions, is just around Rustafied server performance lately and server performance in general. I'll just be straight. It's been a difficult couple weeks. There was an update in the game, something with EAC that lowered server FPS and made it gave us a little less wiggle room as far as if a box's performance goes downhill. If the game default server FPS is high, that gives us some wiggle room where performance doesn't go to shit. We lost a lot of that wiggle room the other week with an update that Rust released. And then also we've been having a couple issues with hardware, specifically some PSUs in certain boxes that were causing them to crash. It's been a real pain in the ass, I'll be honest with you, but we are working through it. I do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we are still working through some things. So EU main was a little delayed on coming up, and then we did have some lag issues briefly there. And for all that stuff, I just want to let you know we are aware of it. I apologize for the inconvenience and the disruption to gameplay, and know that we are doing everything we can to get it working better and to have these servers running as smoothly as possible. That is my commitment to each and every one of you, that we do everything we can to have these servers running as smooth as possible. And unfortunately, sometimes life just kicks you in the nuts. And that kind of happened from a couple different angles over the past couple weeks. So I just wanted to own that and apologize for any poor experience you might have had performance-wise on our servers. We do have a whole systems team working on resolving those issues, and it looks like a lot of them have been resolved as of just a little while ago. But I did want to just own that and acknowledge the breakdown and say sorry for any inconvenience. But I do thank each and every one of you for understanding and for patience in this matter. It is not an easy thing to run populated servers for this game. It's a ever-moving target, and especially with the game in active development and updates each month, it's difficult. But we do the best we can, and I appreciate everyone's understanding and patience with it. Okay. What questions do we have? Any questions from the audience?
We actually have a lot, but let's start with when's WIP?
WIP is at regular scheduled time for Rustafied servers. Certain communities might wipe at different times, and in fact do wipe at different times. So you want to check with their Discord to see. But for Rustafied servers, they wipe at the regular scheduled time, which is 5 p.m. local time for each region. That means that AU and SEA wiped like 8, 9, 10 hours ago. EU wiped an hour and 24 minutes ago. BR wipes in like 3.5 hours, and US servers will wipe in, at 5 p.m. Eastern. I don't know why simple subtraction isn't working in my head right now, but 5 p.m. Eastern is when the US servers will wipe. These are map wipes only. This Halloween update does not force a wipe on the servers. So if you're playing on a monthly server, you don't have to worry about this Halloween update wiping your progress for the month. But we do require server restarts to update this. So in about half an hour, all our servers will be rolling restarts to get this Halloween content live. I apologize for any inconvenience that creates, especially for the EU people that just wiped an hour and a half ago. I know it's not ideal, but it's what we deal with with days like today. But that's what's going on with whips. The next force wipe is November 3rd, 2 weeks from today.
Is there any news on the fishing village quest being fixed?
You know, I haven't heard anything specifically about that that I recall. I do think the devs are aware of it, so hopefully we'll see something for November. Maybe even a commit I missed or something snuck in for this hotfix, and it will be fixed for today. But my confidence on that isn't too high. But hopefully November 3rd it will be.
Do we have an admin command for the portals?
The spawn portal. What is that command, Artemis?
It is. I believe I can't remember. It was a Halloween portal entry, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
It
Cool.
Get
So
some more
yeah,
going actually because the other despawned.
and I'd say that despawn time was about between 20 minutes and a half hour, right?
I was going to say, yeah, looking at it now, it looks to be about 30 minutes, I guess.
Cool. And yeah, and admins can of course spawn these around, and it'll take players to, you know, any dungeon. It's like randomized what dungeon you go to. But also just in normal gameplay, these automatically spawn and collapse around the map.
You can also spawn the exits as well, just
Oh, cool.
replace
Okay.
the entry with exit. Yep.
Can you build around the portal entrances?
No, you cannot. So you can't block a portal entrance by building around it. I mean, you might be able to if you build like really far around it, but also the portal only lasts for like half hour max, so it's not worth.
Yeah, so someone asked if you're inside the portal, can someone outside hear if you're shooting?
I don't believe the audio transfers at all through the portal.
So yeah, the next question was if you can place landmines, but since you're building blocked, you won't be able to do that either.
Correct.
And the radius is quite large as well.
Yeah, so if a portal spawns next to your base, you won't be able to place any items.
Now, what happens if you're in a portal or in a dungeon and the portal for that dungeon collapses? Have we been able to test that yet?
I don't think that's a mechanic, to be honest. I think everybody has to leave before it will despawn. I'm not 100%, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't think I think it will just despawn as soon as everyone's left.
And once again, for anyone just tuning in, this portal stuff was added to staging just last night. So we haven't had a lot of time to test it. That's why there's still some unknowns about this. But the long and short, if you are just tuning in, of these portals, is they're spawning randomly around the map as part of the Halloween event. You go through the portal, you end up in a dungeon, which is one of a bunch of varieties of different small cave systems. Within that cave system, you're going to find NPC scarecrows and some loot. It looks like anywhere from 2 to 5 NPC scarecrows per dungeon. And then you can find normal crates and military crates is what we're seeing down there, basically. It's not clear how many specific dungeons there are. Last night on testing, we found at least 16 different variants, but they're kind of hard to account for and search for. So not clear if they're procedurally generated or there's just a whole boatload of different variants they put together. But yeah, that is the deal with portals. If you're in a dungeon, it doesn't block the portal that got you there from anyone else entering. So other people can meet you in the dungeon and mess with you. And the portals, it looks like, last for about 30 minutes before they collapse and spawn somewhere else on the map. And yeah, that's the portal/dungeon system for the Halloween event.
Will the servers have to restart to apply the update?
Yes, this is a mandatory server and client update when it hits in about just half an hour. In fact, probably the server update is going to hit in like 15, 20 minutes. but it is mandatory. So not only will all servers have to restart, all players will have to restart their game and run a client update to have all the stuff be active. That being said, it does not force a map wipe. So if you're on a monthly server, it's just a restart, and then you'll load back up, and you're not going to lose anything.
Does the pets ride any cars or helis?
I don't believe they do.
No, as far as I can tell, they don't mount anything or they can't do anything like that. They won't follow you through a portal either.
And the stuff we're showing off today is for all Rust servers. This is all generalized for the Rust Halloween event. It's not anything specific to Rustafied servers. This event and all these portals and all this stuff will be running on all Rust servers from the time that the update comes out in about half hour from now to November 3rd, when the Force Wipe and big update will come out for November. That will disable the Halloween event. So you got 2 weeks of all these various activities and special Halloween things to be on every Rust server.
How would this work on a custom map server then?
Oh, I have no idea. It might be totally friggin' broken.
We have to add them, the event themselves annually?
Maybe. It's a great question. I have no idea, and it's times like this where I'm glad we don't run modded servers, because something like this sneaks its way onto staging the night before an update, and it's like, yeah, I don't know what the impact on modded servers will be for it, but it seems to work just fine on vanilla servers.
When you destroy the Frankenstein pet, do you get the parts back?
I don't believe so.
No, you don't know.
Yeah, just kind of poof, disappears.
Can you show what the Scarecrows in the portals drop?
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
We also have some example loot for all Halloween items and stuff like that on Rustafied.com on just the post today. So you can always check that out. We do a new article every Thursday, first thing Eastern time, goes live and summarizes what's going on in Rust development with wording and pictures.
I see someone just asking, does the server wipe early or not?
The server, well, it depends on what region you're talking about. If you're talking about EU region, it is kind of less than ideal, how the schedule works out today, because the server's wiped at 5 BST, and then the update comes out at 7 BST and needs to restart, but it won't re-wipe. It's just going to be a quick restart to update the servers.
Let me see here.
A reminder as well, I think.
Yeah, these mummies and scarecrows have 200 HP, so it's a little extra to kill them, but they do drop a bit better loot, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. The loot's always pretty decent.
How many resources to make the table?
200 metal frags for the Frankenstein Pets table.
Someone is asking, would you show what the baseball bat sounds like when you swing it?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
And have you already covered the torch?
Yeah, we did go through the new torch briefly, but we can show it off again. I think we're about due for a little recap anyway, right?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
All right.
In the meantime, if you have questions, what is it? At shadow_rustafied. So
that's the one.
In chat. Yeah. What's my name?
Cool. So yeah, a little recap here. Oh, Artemis, were you going to say something?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to thumbs up for everyone. This swing well enough.
Cool.
Maybe while she's showing that off, we can talk a little about Charitable Rust that's coming up soon.
Oh yeah. So we are, holy cow, we are 1 month away from Charitable Rust. This is our yearly charity event. This is going to be the 8th year we've done it. In past years, we have that's a tough word to say. Cumulatively raised, over $800,000 for various charities. That, once again, over $800,000 we've raised over the past 7 years. We want to have that cumulative raised goal mark go over $1 million this year. And to help with that, we're running an awesome event November 19th and 20th. There's going to be exclusive giveaways, exclusive Twitch drops, exclusive skins on the item store, the proceeds of which all go towards this amazing cause. This year, we are supporting World Central Kitchen, which is an incredible organization that provides meals to people in need all over the world. The organization itself is just incredible. If you want to learn more about it, go Google the documentary We Feed People. It's on like Disney Plus and Hulu, I believe. And it's a whole documentary about this organization, how it started. Their operations are paid for by benefactors and everything like that. So every dollar raised by us and everyone else goes directly to creating meals to feed people in need around the world. They not only just bring meals to people, but they create programs and sustainability in the areas they help to have their impact be long lasting and really empower the local people using local cuisine, all that stuff. So it's really an awesome cause. And with all the talk about food shortages and famines and all this stuff, we thought it'd be a great cause for this year. So once again, November 19th and 20th. And I can't even begin to tell you how many prizes we have to give away. We've got the guys at Loot Room donated like 11 or 12 full-size 3D printed guns that we're going to be raffling off. We've got Amazon gift cards. We've got VIP on all the most popular servers to give away. We've got game codes. We've got face punch codes. We got DLC codes. We've got just a whole bunch to give away. And also the event servers that we're putting together are really cool. These are totally custom maps and game modes just to play for Charitable Rust. There's a carnival with prizes to win. There's parkour, there's races, there's mazes, there's helicopter flying. There's just a whole bunch of cool stuff. And it's all going to take place on the Charitable Rust event servers, which you will find on the official list the weekend of November 19th and 20th. We're going to be doing a 12-hour live stream event that 19th from 11 a.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, and just showing off the event servers. But this event is open to everyone. If you have Rust, you can join the event. You can either watch on Twitch or just load up the game, look for Charitable Rust event servers on the official list, and join in on the action and win some prizes, all for a good cause. So that's the Charitable Rust stuff. More information, charitablерust.com, and join the Discord to be part of the community and everything like that. And yeah, just a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who supports this cause, especially Face Punch. Without them helping us out and putting the items on the item store and agreeing to be so generous to have the proceeds that normally go to them go towards this amazing cause. I mean, without them, we wouldn't have nearly the impact that we've had over the previous years. And so I'm really thrilled to bring us over $1 million total raised over the years. And yeah, it's just going to be an awesome time. So stay tuned for more information on that. And let's do a little recap here as we are just minutes away from this update coming out. So this is, oh yeah.
That it's, I was about to say alive, but it's live. Someone just said in chat.
The
update?
Is it really?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
What's he teasing?
Oh, portals are generating at runtime. They'll regenerate 20 minutes after the portal is unused, with multiple portals active at once. Okay, I'm just reading some more the devs post on portals. Yeah, okay, but no, the update isn't out yet. Should be shortly though. Should be shortly. In the meantime, let's go through what you can expect at this Halloween update. So it is a mandatory server and client patch that will hit here shortly. We have to restart the servers, and you'll have to restart your client to run the update. But it doesn't force a map wipe on the servers. So if you're playing on a monthly server or whatever, you're not going to lose your progress most likely, because it doesn't force a map wipe. This event will run from today after the update goes live until November 3rd, when the next monthly server and client patch hit and forced wipe happens. So that's what we've got going on. New this year, portals. And just briefly with the portals, they're spawning around the map. You go through a portal, you end up in a dungeon, which is basically a small isolated cave system. Inside that cave, you have NPC scarecrows and some loot. And it looks like other people can join you in there, so keep an eye on your back. But you go kill the scarecrows, grab the loot. You'll find normal crates and military crates down there. Anywhere from 2 to 5 NPC scarecrows, basically what we're seeing. You can't build right around the portals, and they only last for about 30 minutes. It looks like maybe 20 minutes after not being used, they'll collapse and then spawn somewhere else on the map. So yeah, that's the portal stuff, a new opportunity for loot from a spooky dungeon area. Also coming back this year for the second time, we got Frankenstein Pets. These guys, basically you're going to find Frankenstein pet parts in the Mummies and Scarecrow NPCs around the map. Those are the spooky guys roaming the map as part of the Halloween event. You get these parts, and then you build a Frankenstein table. It's a default blueprint, 200 metal frags to craft. You put the parts on the Frankenstein table, hold E, and say wake Frankenstein. You'll have a Frankenstein pet. There are 3 types of parts. There's light, medium, and heavy. They're all interchangeable, but like the light guy will have less health but move faster. The heavy guy, you got it, more health, moves slower, right? But you can interchange the parts, so you can have like light legs and a heavy head if you want. And then you can control your pet. You hold P while in front of the pet, you know, P for pet, and then you can have a radio menu where you select a couple different things, like tell the pet to be idle, tell them to guard you, tell them to follow you, assist you, destroy the pet if you want, or move to where you're looking at, or just put the thing in combat mode, and then that thing will basically attack anything that you attack. It'll attack anything that attacks you. It'll defend itself against being attacked as well. So yeah, that's the pets. There's only 1 pet per time, so you can only have 1 pet at a time. It'll only travel a max of 100 meters. And once again, you find the parts for these pets on Mummies and Scarecrow loot around the map. Also, we got a couple new items making their way in for the Halloween event. We've got a hockey mask. This is a clone of the metal face mask. It has the same stats. All these have the same stats as their cloned in-game item. They're just spooky looking, and for Halloween, you'll probably find them on the item store when the update goes live. There's also a Cultist deer torch. This is a new skin of the torch that has a kind of deer skeleton head on it, I guess, used for cult-like rituals or something. So cool. And then also there's a baseball bat, and the baseball bat is a clone of the mace and just looks like a bat with some razor wire wrapped around it. Interesting thing here, they did buff the damage of the mace a bit, and so you can now one-hit blue barrels with either the bat or the mace, because they buff the stats on both of them as to be even. And all these items, once again, item store, most likely available for purchase. Also, we got carvable pumpkins are making their way back, it looks like, also going to be on the item store. And basically, you just paint on the pumpkin like a sign, add some wood, and you can light it up. Boom, you got a custom-made jack-o'-lantern. Also, as you've heard me mention before, there's the Scarecrows and Mummies roaming around the map. These guys have a little extra HP. There's 200 HP. There's around 40 on a map. They use things like chainsaws, sickles, bean cans, and machetes. And they drop some slightly better loot than you're going to find on Blue Scientist. Like you can get some metal blades, flashing light, pitchfork, sickle, rope, SAR body, F1 grenades, and the like. And also, of course, all the Frankenstein pet parts. Also, there is the in-game trick-or-treat event. This is like the egg hunt for Easter or the Jingle Bells at Christmas, but this is just the Halloween version. So every other in-game day, you're going to see a countdown pop up that says trick-or-treat starts in about 14 seconds. When that starts, some candy will spawn around every player on the server. For about 3 minutes, you'll have the opportunity to go around, pick up as much candy as you can. The top candy getters will get a prize. First prize is 3 medium loot bags. Second prize is 1 medium loot bag. Third prize is 1 small loot bag. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell are these loot bags? Well, these are candy loot bags, basically, that work just like the Christmas presents, where there's small, medium, and large. and you can take 10 small bags and upgrade them to a medium, 10 mediums upgrade to a large, and of course the loot, and then you can open the bag at any point and get whatever you happen to get out of it. And of course the loot quality goes drastically up as the size of the bag goes up. So small loot bags give you like chocolate bars and pumpkin buckets and compound bows. Medium will give you 2.5k stones or double barrel shotgun or chainsaw. And then large loot bags will give you stuff like MP5, M249, LR300, M39, or even a grenade launcher, and some bullets as well. There's no upgrade beyond large loot bags, so that's the highest you can get. And I guess it's what, 100 small bags to get one large loot bag. You can also, with the trick-or-treating, get these items that help you trick-or-treat better, specifically pumpkin bucket, which is found in the small loot bags. You can use left click to get the candy immediately during a trick-or-treat event, as opposed to having to like hold down and be delayed in getting it. Also, Scarecrow Wrap, if you're wearing that, that ups your candy vision, and that allows you to see the candy spawning around you from a farther away distance, so you have a better time of getting that candy. So that's kind of how that whole system works. If you want to reference what is in any bag or whatever, you can always head to rustafied.com. The post today has all that information. Ooh, and do we have the update come out? Let's see here. I'm just talking like crazy, and sure enough, yeah, server update is live. So let me update that. This is good. Generally speaking, with this stuff, we do see the server update go live, and then about 10-15 minutes later, we will see the client update hit and the dev vlog go live. So it looks like the team at FacePunch is right on track with the timing of this update. Thank you, FacePunch. Good work as always. And so, yeah, we should have this client update hitting shortly. You will start seeing some countdowns on Rustafied servers. We're going to be taking those down to update them. Pardon the inconvenience, especially for the servers in the EU that just wiped. I know it's not ideal, but that's just how the cookie crumbles today, so to speak, when we have these in-game events. So also, moving on back to the recap, there's pickupable resources around the map. So it's basically, you're just going to find a bunch of gravestones and stuff like that, or even some skeleton arms sticking out. You can even pick up some bones as pickupable resources. There's also a couple other things that are making their way into the patch with this. Like there's an event volume slider that's been added to the options menu, so you can turn that down a bit if you want to. The strobe light and fog machine have a turn on and turn off input added. They fixed some flashlights and laser attachments not working in turrets, and a couple other things. Full details on rustafied.com. And of course, there's a bunch of other development stuff being worked on in the background for ongoing development projects and things like that. Those are, well, more information on that next week, and more information on what we think is coming in the November 3rd update, because yeah, there's forward progress on that every week, but this week the focus is on this Halloween stuff. Once again, the server update is live, which is a good sign for this update coming out on time. We should see the client update hit here shortly, and then we will say the update is live. In the meantime, any other questions we want to cover?
Yes, and I see, even though we showed it a few times, people want to see how to enter the portals and how they work.
Yeah, well,
Sure,
that makes sense, because these portals are brand new. They were just added to staging just last night, so they're new to us too.
Yeah, so Artemis, if you could show the portals again.
Yep, for sure.
Thank you. What does it say here? The new 3 Halloween items, mask, mace, and torch, are they a DLC, bundle, or just a separate skin?
That's a good question, and we won't know for another couple minutes here, because although we can see the new items in the game and we can spawn them in and see the stats and everything like that, we don't know exactly how they're going to propagate this stuff into the game until the update goes live. Historically speaking, they'll be for sale on the item store. Will it be individual items or a bundle? I'm not sure. Your guess is as good as mine, but I don't think we're going to have to wait much longer, because the item store, if it's not updated already, should update momentarily. And I'm going to load it up right now to see.
Did the coffin receive any buff to the inventory? No, it did not.
No, it unfortunately didn't make it in. I thought it was going to. Oh, it does look like the items are individual. Interesting. What are we looking at here? So yeah, the baseball bat, hockey mask, and cultist deer torch are all on the item store individually for purchase. The baseball bat $2.99, hockey mask $7.99, and cultist deer torch is $3.99. So they're not a pack. It is individual purchases for those items.
Can you shoot through the portal door?
No.
No.
Is there a way to look up the server FPS/performance before joining it?
Battlemetrics has, I believe, some insight into that. So if you look at the server details on Battlemetrics, you should be able to see some more information on that.
Sorry if answered already. Are portals part of the event, or are there just now portals in Rust?
Just part of the event. Oh, and the dev blog is out.
Yeah, I think that's it for questions.
Cool. Let's look at this dev blog a little bit. Happy Halloween. Yeah, we got the trick or treat stuff, candy vision. We got portals.
And just another small note, you can throw candy if you have the bucket as well, and it does about 20 HP damage as well to like a base without armor or anything if you're naked.
Yes, good call. So you can use candy to defend yourself if you're in a pinch. But cool, yeah, the dev blog is out. And yeah, there's also the skull trophy pack and skull spike pack and mummy underwear. And some other cool items.
Where do portals spawn?
All over the map. And it does seem to be just kind of random. And it looks like the portals only despawn once they haven't been used for 20 minutes, maybe. But I'm not 100%. Once again, these portals were just added to staging last night. So we haven't had a huge amount of time to test them out.
I see someone just said, I heard that coffins maybe stack. I didn't try. I can try that.
Yeah, let's try it. And once again, if you're just tuning in, the update is almost out. The dedicated server has been released, which is a good sign, and the dev blog is out. So we're just waiting on this client update, which should hit momentarily here, and then we'll say the update is officially live. The item store is updated, so head over to the Rust item store to check out the exclusive Halloween items. There's also some Halloween skins that the community built and did a great job on. So check those out and support the community. And yeah, it's going to be a good Halloween event. Once again, this event runs from today when this update is officially live, moments from now, and then runs until November 3rd when the forced wipe and monthly patch comes out. So we got 2 weeks of this Halloween stuff. It does not force a wipe on any server you're on, but it does require an update. And stay tuned. If I'm telling you that the client update hits and you're not seeing it yet, which the client update has not hit yet, but it should momentarily. But if you don't see it immediately on your Rust library, you can, or your Steam library, you can restart Steam, or you can start the process of verifying the integrity of the game files. And if you start that, what I found is the first part of that is pinging Steam for an update, and that will queue an update up immediately. You can cancel out and then run the update. Just a little tip there for anyone looking to update quickly. But yeah, that about does it. Also, just one other thing, quick reminder once again, we are 1 month out from our yearly charity event, Charitable Rust. CharitableRust.com for more information. We're supporting World Central Kitchen this year. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Everyone can participate on event servers on the official list in-game. And there's tons of prizes, tons of custom gameplay modes, and fun to be had, all for a great cause. So check it out, CharitableRust.com.
Coffins do not stack, and no, the inventory did not change in slots yet.
That's kind of a shame, but maybe just an oversight. I could have sworn they said they were going to up the coffin size.
What happened to the Rustafied hardcore server?
RIP.
EU hardcore, you said.
Yeah. May it rest in peace. Thank you for mentioning that because I forgot to fucking mention. Yeah, as you're aware, or maybe not, when hardcore game mode came out the other month, we did a soft launch of one server just to see if it would like really resonate and everything. And we just launched it on the community list just to as like a trial. And long story short, the pop died like completely after day one. And maybe it's just because it was on the community list, or maybe just there's not a lot of people playing hardcore. I don't know. But the server was not doing anything. So I took it down. And yeah, I hope you understand. But yeah, that's just what the deal with that was.
I'm just seeing if there's anything else that we could. When servers web again, I see multiple people.
So servers wiping today for Rustafied servers, we're just wiping at regular scheduled time, which is 5 p.m. local time for the region. The kind of thing in the mix here is there's of course this mandatory server and client update, which hits in between wipe times. So we are just handling that now. We're restarting. Ooh, and with that game client released, let me update this thing here. But yeah, so the wipes are just at the regular time for Rustafied servers. That's 5 p.m. local time for the region. That means most regions have already wiped, with the exception of BR in 2 hours and US in 3 hours. And map wipes only today. And yeah, the update is officially live for the Halloween content. So that does it. Let me tweet real quick. All right, awesome. And that should do it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. A lot of people think we're the developers of the game or we're on the Facepunch payroll. And in fact, we're not. We're just independent people, fans of the game who love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we possibly can. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us. If you just tune in to watch, if you subscribe on Twitch or throw us some bits, or to our wonderful, beautiful VIP customers, thank you all so much for the support. It's really, truly only through that support that we can do what we can do, run the servers that we run, and show up every week and report on the news that we do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Stuttered there for a little bit. Get a little emotional there, maybe. No, but thank you, seriously, thank you for the support, because we couldn't do this without you. And I have so much love for this community, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. So thank you, everyone, and much love to you and you all. I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. I hope you love this Halloween content and have a great time with it over the next 2 weeks. A huge thank you to my entire team at Rustafied, and special thanks, as always, Artemis and Shadow for being my co-MCs.
You're welcome, as always.
Yep, you're most welcome.
And with that, we will be back, as we always are, same time, same place, next week for another update preview stream. We'll be showing off what you can expect to see in the November 3rd update. And we'll also have an article on Rustafied.com and all that good stuff. In the meantime, have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs, signing off.